Yesterday was the 15-year anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, and it feels super weird, as the passage of time always does. But in a strange way, it actually feels a lot longer ago, a lot further along on the timeline than just 15 years. I think of like The Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace came out 21 years ago. I was 13 years old. I was a kid. I was a baby. And that just feels like another lifetime ago. But 2005, I was 19. And it just, for whatever reason, feels like a lot longer than 15 years. And I think I attribute that feeling to so much happening in the past 15 years. You know, so many monumental life decisions, life changes, and whatnot in the past 15 years. When I was 19 in 2005, I was kind of bouncing around in college. I ended up trying 2 different colleges, flunking out of both. And in the past 15 years, I was in and out of the Navy from 2007 to 2011. Started this channel, got married, became a dad. A lot has happened in that 15-year period. So in a way, it feels like longer than 15 years, if that makes sense. Revenge of the Sith holds a special place in my heart. Not necessarily because I really love or dig the movie that much. I don't. It's not one of my favorite Star Wars movies. But Revenge of the Sith holds a special place in my heart because of the midnight premiere that I attended. I wrote about this briefly in my book, so allow me to read a couple paragraphs from that book. Fast forward to 2005, the midnight premiere of Revenge of the Sith. My friends and I were packed into the car on our way to the movie theater. Our excitement levels were through the roof. The line for the midnight showing wrapped around the movie theater, and everyone eagerly awaited the next installment of the saga. I wore a Don Post Greedo mask, my dad's green work coveralls, some black rubber gloves, an orange vest that I picked up from a thrift shop, and a homemade blaster strapped to a homemade holster. My buddy dressed up as Han. He also had a homemade blaster, and his entire costume was basically sewn together by his mom. She did an amazing job. We looked pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. It's amazing how a modified Nerf gun and some plumbing parts can look like a realistic blaster. We'd be arrested nowadays. The line started to move, and the mob of crazed Star Wars fans were let into the theater. Lightsabers waved. Wookiees roared. Everyone booed the previews. The lights dimmed. 20th Century Fox. Cheer. Lucasfilm. Cheer. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. A hush fell over the crowd. Star Wars! The score came blaring through the speakers and the crowd went wild. It didn't feel like we were going to see a movie. Everyone in that theater was participating in an event. A movie-going experience that, as goofy as it sounds, we could tell our children about. Star Wars was our denomination, and the movie theater was our place of worship. George Lucas led the congregation, and John Williams wrote our hymns, Vader, Luke, and the Holy Force. So that's what Revenge of the Sith means to me. A fun time with some of my lifelong friends, celebrating Star Wars, dressing up for the first time to go see a movie, and just being surrounded by that experience. There's just something about seeing Star Wars at midnight, man, that makes it so special. The most devoted Star Wars fans are saddling up to go see a movie at midnight to get released out of the theater at 3 in the morning and then maybe going over to Steak and Shake next door for a burger and a milkshake. Nowadays, we see Star Wars movies, at least I do, at 6 p.m. the day before it technically releases. And yeah, that's an absolute blast. It definitely works better for the adult in me. But there was something special about that midnight showing. The deep darkness of the night as you walk out of that theater. The buzz in the air. And obviously, this is just a huge brush of the paint of nostalgia, but that's what Revenge of the Sith means to me. A simple time with lifelong friends, going to see what we thought was going to be the final chapter of the Star Wars franchise, film-wise, being enveloped in the excitement and hanging out. It's also really interesting for me to kind of hear people nowadays talk about how Revenge of the Sith is a masterpiece and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, but back when those movies came out on the internet, the buzz in the comic shops that I went to, most people were shitting all over them. So it's really interesting and great and awesome to see this wave of people who I guess grew up with these movies all of a sudden have a voice on the internet. They're able to tell everyone why they love what they love. Star Wars is a generational thing, and in 2020 that is more apparent than ever. And it's a good thing. So yeah, Do you guys like Revenge of the Sith? Do you guys have great memories of going to see that movie 15 years ago? If you do, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for listening to me go down memory lane a little bit. HelloGreedo, out.